Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. This is a video about price, and there is an XRP chart analyst who thinks that it's possible XRP may hit upwards of 74 cents by the end of January. So I'm going to share with you his full analysis along with opinions from a number of other chart analysts in this video. Now, I do want to be very clear at the outset here. I am not a financial advisor. I do not make price predictions. I don't pretend to know how to read charts. I just like learning from people that do know how to read charts. As far as my own research, I'm all about just tracking fundamentals, and that's, just tracking the fundamentals is what gives me confidence to invest in XRP. But I don't advise whether or not you should buy or sell. Seek professional help from a financial advisor if you're interested in that. But nonetheless, to me, it's always fun to learn what the opinions are from just a bunch of different chart analysts, and then report what I learned to you. So there's a bunch of stuff that I want to share with you. But before we go any further, if you would please delicately tap that like button, and if you are a fan of Ripple and XRP and you'd love to see XRP hit 74 cents inside of a month or so, go ahead and subscribe to the Moon Lambo channel, because we may be very like-minded on that front. And it is an XRP-centric channel here after all, right? Now, despite that, I also would like to state at the outset that it seems to me that there are a number of analysts out there that still think that this, even if there's a relief rally in terms of price here, that Bitcoin and thus the whole market is still in a downward trend ultimately. So I'm going to share with you the perspectives, and you can decide what you think makes sense there. Now, the market cap for the asset class is at 190 billion. Bitcoin is at 7,242, and XRP is at 19.3 cents. And so over the last 24 hours, the charts for XRP and Bitcoin look about the same. Not too much to talk about there. Here's the first analysis I want to share with you. XRP price prediction. Is resistance at 19.8 cents holding XRP back? And this is written by Bogdan Zarutsky here. And again, in these types of videos, I don't get too much into the technical portion of this. I'm more about sharing with you the opinions of a number of chart analysts out there, because even the chart analysts out there that run their own channels, it gets very techy. There's these long explanations, and I really didn't see anybody else. The reason I'm happy to make these videos, I didn't really see anybody else, especially not in the XRP community, just putting together the ultimate thoughts of all of these chart analysts, or a lot of them anyway, without boring people to death with the tech stuff, because I think the average person is probably like me and doesn't know it, doesn't really care to learn it, just wants to understand the direction that they're going to. To me, just sharing opinions makes a ton of sense here. So here's what he wrote: XRP/USD over a 4-hour period. Looking at the 4-hour period, XRP USD maintained neutrality. At the same time, the chart overcame a downtrend, which is good news. However, the level near 19.8 cents region has kept the price from growing any further. So it looks like that's the resistance level according to this particular chart analyst. Something that I found interesting in scrolling down here, he had this little subheading: what can strengthen XRP/USD in the near future? And he was writing about Ripple. And writes, Ripple is heading to Brazil to forge a new partnership there. Brazil is a leader in innovative technologies and is ready to open up this path for the rest of Latin America. Well, look, I would say long-term utility matters. Obviously, if you've listened to more than one of my videos, my investment thesis, it's just, I say it regularly, utility matters and will win the day. It's that simple. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm happy to continue to put money in XRP for myself. I'm happy to share my opinions, again, not financial advice, but even so, we're nowhere near the phase of utility mattering to that degree. So as far as, the price of XRP going up explicitly because of something like this, give it some more time. Like, it does matter. It does matter. I'm Mr. XRP Bull. I'm very pro-XRP, pro-Ripple, but I don't think in the short term, because again, he wrote here in the near future, I'm like, I don't think news like that is necessarily going to push the price up. Mostly what we see from news is it's my opinion, it's just what keeps the price from going lower. So things would be a lot worse if there weren't such amazing developments. But I'm telling you, most people are not here for fundamentals yet. They are here to speculate. That's just kind of the nature of things here. Here's another article. Bitcoin price may dump to 6,940 briefly. A crypto trader assumes. And so there's a couple opinions in this piece I wanted to share with you. A crypto trader at Livercoin reckons that the Bitcoin price is likely to go below the $7,000 level soon after it fills a small gap on the chart later today. The bearish target the trader expects Bitcoin to hit is $6,940 due to almost equal deep swing lows. And that's the tweet that he had on the screen right now expressing that opinion. In the comment thread, a user has shared a view that after this brief decline, the Bitcoin price would surge towards $8,800 to $9,100 levels. So bullish, and obviously you can imagine that this would be quite good for every single altcoin, including XRP on the planet. That would be a reasonable assumption, I think, ultimately. The thing is, though, like I said, and I'm going to share with you opinions from a couple others, including Magic, who I cite on the channel pretty regularly because he's pretty active out there and shares his opinions, but he is still super confident that we are still in a downward trend. So keep all of these opinions in mind as I'm going through this video, and just make your own decisions, because some of these people, like I'm getting ahead of myself. I want to talk about the other tweets, but I feel like I should cover what's on my screen right now. So let me just do that first, one at a time. I'm trying not to get too excited and get ahead of myself. I do that sometimes. So check this out. That was a subheading titled "Awkwardly Bullish for Me." Another trader who calls himself Crypto Maestro seems to be more optimistic and bullish. He reckons that the Bitcoin price is likely to spike and test the $7,800 level next week. He points out that at $7,800, Bitcoin may face a horizontal resistance level which is hard to break through, so a rejection is likely. However, he draws a positive scenario on the chart right here. And you can see it, that's the tweet that's on the screen right there with the chart that he associated with that. So there you go. All right, next, let's get to this one now. This is probably the most interesting one in the video, from my opinion. There's all sorts of interesting stuff in this video, but this one caught my attention, I must admit, because it's the most bullish, and it's kind of short-term price action about XRP that we can all track and see what actually happens here. And so this is a technical analysis from Sid Vicious, and here's what he writes. It appears the XRP trend has indeed sped up, and we may be at the very doorstep of the bull market. I have created some estimates on my chart to help with potential projections based on where we currently are. I am not a professional. This is pure speculation, no hype. And so I want to stress that last part. He does cite, and I'm glad that he's being very upfront about this, not a professional. And so he's talking about just the fact that he's speculating, no attempt to hype there whatsoever. So here's what he wrote, and I'm going to pull this chart up full screen right here. He writes, this chart is to represent my current projections based on where we are in the trend. It appears the bull market is at our doorstep. Given the ratios and approximate timeframes, here is my estimates based on this theory. And then he writes, we may see the following XRP/United States dollar estimates. And for January 16th, he writes 24 to 25 cents. For January 25th, he thinks it could be between 38 to 40 cents. And by January 29th, 70 to 74 cents. That's about the most bullish outlook that I've seen as of late. So I wanted to share it with you. And again, I do like that he's citing, hey, this is not a professional thing for me. He's just saying, hey, it's just speculation, not hype. And so I can appreciate that. But he does believe this wholeheartedly. And then he writes, these could extend end of February, as this all depends on price action regarding Bitcoin. Then he writes, this is not trading advice, of course, right here. So fascinating. That'll be a fun thing to track because, again, about a month away from that. Now here's Magic to bring us back down to reality here. I like Magic. He's got quite the following on TradingView, over 69,000 followers. And here's what he writes. I got a few tweets from him. As an update, Bitcoin is struggling with the 50 MA. While bullish MACD and RSI divergences suggest a possible short-term surge higher, Bitcoin is really struggling to find bullish volume to overtake the 50. A relief rally, even to $9,500, will not change the bearish trend, which is interesting because there are other analysts like Josh Rager, who has a massive following also. I think he has like 60,000 followers on Twitter. He was saying recently that he thinks if we can get over, I believe the number was 7,950, and if we actually get to that, he thinks that would be enough to say, okay, if it holds there, he believed just within the last several days or so, I want to say that that would be an indication of potentially beginning of a bullish trend, but nothing below that. And again, it would have to actually hold that. So interesting, but Magic seems to think no, even with 9,500, which is interesting. And then he wrote this also. The only thing that gives Bitcoin value is demand, which exists primarily because of financial speculation. If Bitcoin enters a devastating multi-year collapse, speculative demand will diminish and so will the price, because the fundamentals are mostly limited to financial speculation. And and that's just like, to me, that's a factual statement there in terms of, the fundamentals are mostly limited to financial speculation. That's what 100% of crypto transactions are. It's just speculation. But utility will end up winning out. I firmly believe that. But as it stands today, yeah. It's just, but people are willing to do that because they know, this is my opinion, that there is something to this asset class. And somebody named Jake responded to that and wrote, yes, but someone will accumulate all that cheap Bitcoin. And Magic wrote, that isn't guaranteed. If demand falls, people won't buy. Why aren't people buying the worst S-word coins out there? They're available, so surely someone will buy them up, right? Unfortunately, if there's no demand, nobody buys. And so I get the point he's saying, but I still think that the crypto asset class, it's not going to go away, period, because there is actual utility to be had. So for me, it's more like, since I'm more of a fundamentals guy and not a chart analyst, to me, it's more like, even if there's some dire price action that to a degree that we couldn't have possibly foreseen, or even if we didn't think it was likely, if we could have conceptually thought through it, even if that happens, I'm still of the mindset that, okay, so fine, but this is all, like, the whole ecosystem's still getting built out, and to me, it would still just be a matter of time. As long as I continue to see real world adoption, to me, it's just like, okay, who you can't necessarily, predict long term exactly at what point there's going to be that type of adoption and that type of actual price run up. So, I'm just saying that, to me, it wouldn't be an indication that this is all going away. Like, I would never, like, crypto is here to stay, period. That's just my opinion. All right. Next here's an opinion, a tweet from chart analyst Wooston, who wrote, and he's got 4 charts here, XRP/USD. First chart, my previous analysis when I said ascending triangles are not bullish. Dotted line possible scenario, it's not bullish. Second chart, bears in control. No range for bulls here yet. His third chart, 3 new lows inside the falling wedge. It's a good thing. And his fourth chart, all he writes is bullish. And so I just thought I'd share it with you. Here's what he has associated with that particular tweet. So here's the fourth one right there. But anyway, so we'll just wait it out. We'll see what happens here. I'd love to hear. It's fun to talk through this stuff. I think it's a fun topic always. So let me know in the comments below, where do you think the price is going? Do you have any additional thoughts? Are there specific chart analysts that you think are generally more right or wrong? Is there anyone else in the XRP community or crypto at large that you think I should be following that offers chart analysis? Just let me know. Because some of the people that I'm following now, they are thanks to suggestions that I received on YouTube and on Twitter. But that's it for this video. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo!